actually an improvement over the old, but still, part of me always feels sad. We knew that losing Yankee Stadium, originally opened in 1923 and greatly remodeled in the mid-'70s, was going to be tough. Maybe not as devastating as what happened to the old Penn Station, but significant just the same, especially for generations of Yankee fans. In the communal spirit of my blog, Bronx Banter, I thought it would be fun to run a series celebrating people's memories of the place. So in the spring of 2008, I started asking around. Bloggers, newspaper beat writers and columnists, novelists and actors, and by October we had 62 pieces. One of the essays, Todd Drew's The Memories Will Not Stop, was selected for the Best American Sports Writing 2009. It was only the third time in the annual anthology's 20-year history that a blog entry had been so honored. But there is even more to this story. Todd popped up on my radar as a commenter on the Banter. Then we started trading emails, and then we were friends. He worked for the ACLU, loved the Yankees and sports writing, and started his own blog, Yankees for Justice. His posts were slices of life, New York scenes that had more in common with Jimmy Breslin and W.C. Hines than Bill James and baseball prospectus. I thought they were terrific, and felt that Todd shared my fascination with character and detail and, most importantly, with storytelling. When I moved Bronx Banter from Baseball Toaster to SNY.TV in the fall of 2008, I asked Todd to join us, and after careful consideration, he did. He wrote a column called Shadowball 5 times a week, short sketches, each drawn with an artist's zeal for perfection. He gave them to Michael Allen, his close friend and colleague, for feedback, and then he asked me to read them. Todd did anything he could to make his work better, sharper, truer to his heart. The first time I read his lasting Yankee Stadium memory essay, I thought, aha, this is what this series is all about. The only problem was, Todd wrote his piece in the second person, and I'm not wild about the second person. I asked him to try the first person, but when he did, I knew instantly that he had it right the first time. So we ran his original, and it made BASW, and joy would have graced Bronx Banter if it were not for one thing. Todd didn't live long enough to see his sweet and powerful essay memorialized. In late November, he told me he needed minor surgery, but he didn't anticipate being laid up for long. My gut told me it was more serious than that, but I figured Todd for the kind of guy who wouldn't let on, even if that were the case, so I didn't press the issue. On December 22, 2008, Todd wrote what would be his last piece for publication, an essay about how baseball provided him with an escape from tough times. It had helped keep him sane when his father died, and now it was doing the same as he prepared for his own surgery the following day. The essay was, as John Schulian later put it, what Hemingway meant when he wrote about grace under pressure. After 10 hours of surgery to remove cancerous tumors from his abdomen, a blood clot reached one of Todd's lungs. He was sedated and kept on a respirator in the hopes that he would recover. He was alive for almost another month, his loving wife Marcia at his side as he lay in bed unconscious but for a few precious moments. On the afternoon of January 14th, Marcia realized that Todd was not going to make it. Just after midnight, minutes before the end, she took out her iPod, put one earpiece in Todd's left ear, the other in hers, and played jazz violinist Regina Carter's record, Paganini, After a Dream. Almost as soon as she hit play, Todd opened his bottle-green eyes wide for a few moments, and then he was gone. Michael Allen was holding Todd's right hand. Marcia was on the other side of the bed holding his left. Todd died at 12:42 a.m. on January 15, 2009. He was 41. Gone was a neighbor, a friend, and a brother, a real mensch. I tried to imagine something we could do in Todd's honor. The rest of the Banter writers and I talked about it, and Diane Firstman suggested that we compile the Stadium Memories series into a book. When Skyhorse approached us about doing just that, we knew we had the perfect farewell to Todd. Todd once sent me an email listing some of his favorite journalists. I reached out to those writers.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.